Well, I have um, I have quite a big topic to examine today. So I will go gently on it because we're going to keep that lightness, hopefully. But it might be helpful for those of you that are feeling under the weather, and also for those of you that have or are experiencing difficulties with the body. In the UK, I think it's worldwide. I do believe it's in the States as well, but as I understand it, it's Invisible Disabilities Week. And that means those people, anyone with a not so obvious disability, the definitions are broadening all the time. But if you think about things like diabetes, Crohn's, EDS, fibromyalgia, MS, lots of different challenges with the body that aren't necessarily obvious. And I fit into this category. So I feel very passionately about this topic. And it's only because of mindful self-compassion that I can stand here today and talk to you about it. Because oftentimes with these sorts of illnesses, some are less recognized than others. And I do fit into that category where it took 38 years for diagnosis. And so I had a long time of not even believing myself eventually. It's like maybe it's just in my head. Now, I share this with you simply to demonstrate the power of mindful self-compassion. With this practice, and especially the validation aspect of self-compassion, that is huge for me. And if we think about something like the self-compassion break, which is what we might do today, actually. I was going to do another practice, but I'm thinking that might be even better. This is a moment of difficulty. All right, anytime anyone says, oh, there's nothing wrong with you, you're making it up, which is what I grew up with, or anyone judges you, in any way, but especially if there is challenge with the body, it can feel really, it's a double debilitation. And to have that self-compassion break saying, hey, this is really difficult. Anyone going through what you're going through, they too would find it hard. That was miraculous and revolutionary for me. For the first time ever in my life, I began to acknowledge that what I had been going through was genuinely really tough. And from that moment on, from that validation, I could then begin to bring kindness and compassion to this body of mine. And of course, to my mind and heart. So the saying goes with the Invisible Disabilities organization, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not real. Yes, and Jan is reminding me, of course, the hard of hearing is sometimes called the silent disability. Thank you for naming that, Jan. And I don't know whether you get the program, but we have a dancing program. And the girl that won it, gosh, it might have been last year now, Strictly Come Dancing. And she was deaf. And it started to explode awareness for this particular part of the population that struggle with an unseen and certainly often misunderstood challenge. So whilst I don't want to get into any specifics about specific sufferings or ailments, I would really like you, depending on where you are, you might be in the category of, yes, that's me. I think it was Steve that just said, acknowledged he was, sorry, Matt. Late diagnosis solidarity. Bless you, Matt. You may be in my category, but you also may not. So it's not to, I want this, obviously, MSC is fully inclusive, but to bring awareness to our perceptions, our judgments, our projections of ourselves and potentially of others. And these are often unconscious. And I thought I would begin before we started the practice to just share with you this book I'm loving, The Power of Now. Many of you, I'm sure, will have read it, by the wonderful Eckhart Tolle. I could not receive his words 15 years ago. I just couldn't read it. Yay, Joe's got his copy. But one of the most liberating things was on page 180 in the latest copy, he talks about transforming illness into enlightenment. And this has really, really helped me. And so if there is, I know there's a few of you on today that have an acute illness right now with COVID or such like, well, you may be struggling with a long-term challenge of the body. But he invites us to surrender. He says, surrender is inner acceptance of what is without any reservations. And certainly speaking from my own experience, that is really hard when it's your body, because you can't escape it. So he defines the difference between our life and our life situation. And that has really, really helped me. Illness is part of your life situation. As such, it has a past and a future. Past and future form an uninterrupted continuum unless the redeeming power of now is activated through your conscious presence. As you know, underneath the various conditions that make up your life situation, which exists in time, there is something deeper, more essential, your life, with a capital L, your very being in the timeless now. And I believe self-compassion helps us come into that place of now. Obviously, the mindfulness is really magical to help us be present, notice what's here. And then the self-compassion can soften around the edges of resistance. And if you're physically in pain or struggling in some way, that can be really loud, that resistance. There's one final piece that I'd really like to share with you, and then we'll drop in. Illness is not the problem. You are the problem. Stay with me. As long as the egoic mind is in control. When you are ill or disabled, do not feel you have failed in some way. Do not feel guilty. Do not blame life for treating you unfairly. And this is really important, certainly has helped me. But do not blame yourself either. Really hear that, because that is what I did since I was little. All that is resistance. If you have a major illness, use it for enlightenment. Anything bad that happens in your life, use it for enlightenment. Withdraw time from the illness. Do not give it any past or future. Let it force you into intense present moment awareness and see what happens. I could read the whole of this chapter out to you, but I'll stop there and we'll become our own alchemist, as he says, and we'll transmute our potential suffering, whether it's mind, body, or heart, into consciousness, into this beautiful place of enlightenment. And if enlightenment feels too lofty and too out of reach, then I like to just simply call it stillness. And so, let's begin. Let's soften into this moment. And I'll just take my seat. And so hopefully you have got yourself nice and comfy, enjoying some deep breaths. And if the mind has been triggered by any of the words I've shared, especially "you are the problem," please just let the words go, because I think that little paragraph, we could spend a week discussing it. If there is resistance in the mind because you don't want to be in the present moment because it's too painful, then just once again, use your practice, soften around the edges, perhaps give yourself some soothing touch. I wonder what it might be like if we could welcome even the resistance. And I don't say that with anything other than deep honor and grace for anyone that is in great difficulty or pain right now. All we're doing right now is offering ourselves compassion for what is here. So allowing yourself to gently arrive, to settle. Perhaps enjoying a soothing, cleansing, deep breath. Feeling your bottom on the chair, your feet on the floor. Begin drawing your attention inward now. Becoming aware of your breath, gently moving through your body. And if the breath is the challenge, then perhaps stay with some soothing touch or resting with your awareness in the soles of your feet. Noticing what is here. Maybe the sensations are pleasant. Maybe the sensations are unpleasant. Or perhaps they're neutral. Noticing the mind wanting to work everything out. Understand perhaps what is not understandable or acceptable right now. Simply inviting the mind to join with the body and rest in communion with the heart. As we bring our intention to our practice. I wonder, what is your intention for practicing, for paying attention right now? And so as the breath continues to soften and ease the mind and body, you may like to offer yourself this warm intention. If you could wish anything for yourself right now, a deep wish of warmth and friendliness to your mind, your body, your heart, or all parts of you, I wonder what that would be. And feeling the warmth of this friendliness, of this friendly wish, this kind intention for yourself. Perhaps receiving a felt sense of what it's like to be the recipient of this sweet, friendly wish for yourself. And with every breath that moves through the body, perhaps allowing any resistance, perhaps any energetic armor or physical tension to gently ease away. Simply resting now in the present moment. This is all we have. And if you notice that there is struggle, difficulty, or suffering that is here right now, mind, body, or heart, and let's allow our self-compassion break to really tend to this moment, to this struggle. And I'll guide us with some words, and please do replace them with your own. Finding the words that are just right for you, that come from your own inner wisdom. And so when you rest your awareness on this suffering, whether it is your own or another, offering yourself some validating words that this is difficult right now. Perhaps placing your hands on your heart or somewhere you receive that connection and support. This is a moment of suffering. This is really tough right now. Really allow the strong emotions of the struggle to be fully felt if you can. Really noticing what happens in your body. And connecting with our common humanity. Anyone who is experiencing this, they too would find it hard right now. They would be struggling just like me. And again, finding the words that are from your own inner voice of validation and compassion. Then with a deep, tender breath, Breathing in self-kindness. May I be kind to myself right now. May I be gentle and supportive of my body. And again, finding the words that are just right for you. And drawing in that felt sense of kindness, of compassion, of tenderness, friendliness, warmth, whatever you need. It might be in the form of a color or an energy, soothing touch, or some really powerful, loving words. Letting yourself receive as best you can this kind intention for yourself. And in your own time, allowing your mind to take you through this beautiful self-compassion practice, each element supporting and guiding you. This is a moment of struggle. Anyone in my shoes, they'd find it hard too. May I be gentle and patient with myself right now. And just allow your words, your sentiment, and your gestures of self-compassion to gently suffuse your body now, your mind and heart receiving this loving, kind intention over and over. Resting in the embrace of self-compassion and kindness. And if your mind wanders, you get distracted, it's okay. You may want to let go of the words anyway and simply rest in this felt sense, in this loving, connected presence. When the rhythm of the heart becomes hectic, time takes on the strain until it breaks. Then all the unattended stress falls in on the soul like an endless, increasing weight. The light in the mind becomes dim. Things you could take in your stride before now become laboursome events of will. Weariness invades your spirit. Gravity begins falling inside you, dragging down every bone. The tide you never valued has gone out, and you are marooned on unsure ground. Something within you has closed down, and you cannot push yourself back to life. You have been forced to enter empty time. The desire that drove you has relinquished. There is nothing else to do now but rest, and patiently learn to receive the self you have forsaken in the race of days. At first your thinking will darken and sadness take over like listless weather. The flow of unwept tears will frighten you. You have travelled too fast over false ground. Now your soul has come to take you back. Take refuge in your senses. Open up to all the small miracles you rushed through. Become inclined to watch the way of rain when it falls slow and free. Imitate the habit of twilight, taking time to open the well of colour that fostered the brightness of day. Draw alongside the silence of stone until its calmness can claim you. Be excessively gentle with yourself. Stay clear of those vexed in spirit. Learn to linger around someone of ease who feels they have all the time in the world. Gradually, you will return to yourself, having learned a new respect for your heart and the joy that dwells deep within slow time. And so, my friends, allowing this beautiful blessing to hold you and guide you throughout your day, when meetings struggle, or simply when exhausted. Let yourself be nourished by the stillness within, and allow yourself to be wrapped, embraced, tended to by the warmth of your compassion. And so, with a slow, easy breath, gently releasing your practice, allowing yourself to be just as you are, just for now. And softly open your eyes when you are ready.